I'm Charlene O'Neill, and I'm going to talk about container gardening. And how I got interested in it is when we first got married, we rented an apartment, and I didn't have any place to plant flowers or grow tomatoes or anything like that. And I had grown up on a farm, and so I thought I would compromise. So I started using containers, and that's been 42 years ago. And so I still use them. I have a garden, but I love container gardens. So this is an 18-inch, and it's filled with pot. It's a resin type pot. There's so many different kinds of pots. There's ceramic, which are the heavy ones, plastic, concrete, and resin. This one that says it's frost proof, and I do like that one. But using containers, mostly I love them around a pool or to accent an area. After planting my flowers in my flower garden, I wanted some yard art, and I decided to use the containers as my centerpiece. And I started reading and studying and buying landscape books, and just found that I love doing it. So this picture here, and I'm going to put one together here just a minute, but y'all can see in the picture. And this is one I've done at my house. So this is the first day I planted, and it is purple fountain grass and a couple different colors. And then 4 weeks later, this is what it looks like. So when you put one together, it's not instantly going to look like these, but just know that it will. So you don't have to follow any rules, but to make the container really pop, which I think a lot of people like to do, unless they're just putting a vegetable garden in or something, is to have the three things that they call a thriller, which is the middle plant or the tallest plant, and a filler, one that's going to be in the center that's going to fill in that area, and then you have something they call a spiller, and that will go over the edges of the pot. So some of these pictures are if you just have a container that's up against the wall, you may want to put your thriller in the back and not in the middle. It's not always have to be in the middle, because some of it, the pictures look like, how did they get so many plants in there? They put one in the back, and then they fill the rest by curing the size of it. But we're going to start one in the middle. So today I have brought a geranium, and these are sun area plants. So that's another thing, is what you're planting, they need to take all of the same kind of sun, the east sun, the south sun, hot or shade. So you need to make sure that all your plants there's not one that takes the sun and the shade ones die because they're in the sun. But these are all sun plants. So, but first, this is a large container, and always, always, always make sure you got some holes in the bottom. You can buy ceramic plant pots that do not have holes in them. You can buy resin ones that don't have holes in them. They got punch out holes, or you have to drill them. But if you don't put the holes in it, you will more than likely get root rot, and you wonder why your plant's dying and you keep watering it. It's because it's not draining out. So, but like if you're like me, I like to move mine around. Different seasons, fall, spring, summer. Every year I like to get a different color in. I like to move them around. So some of them can be extremely heavy. So in the bottom, I use something lightweight. Some people use the styrofoam peanuts. Some use plastic bottles. Depends. I've seen a gentleman going out here with this huge pot that is almost 3 times the size. That they use plastic bottles to put in the bottom, so it's lightweight and it's easier to move around. Because if you put just all soil in here, it is next to impossible to try to move it. So what I use and that I like is the bark. I use bark and put it in the bottom of the pot first. So it's lightweight, but it's good. It's good for the plant. It's like the bark you would put on top of your garden bed. So I'm gonna do that first.
Have you ever put leaves in the bottom?
No. Leaves can have a lot of insects. The leaves can have a lot of insects or disease or fungus in it that you don't know about. And it's so, I think they would disintegrate. Yeah, I think they would disintegrate too fast, and that you would lose the cushion that you need to be able to fill it. But I have never used leaves. Actually, I don't use leaves in anything. I don't. I just rake them up and get rid of them. So I have not quite a third, maybe a fourth of bark. There's different types of bark. I like pine bark. There's they have the big nuggets, or I like the shredded kind. And it's just your personal taste in it. I find that these doesn't wash away as much as the nuggets do. And I think it just looks more polished, but that's personal taste. So I put the healthy fat in here, and so the pot is still light. So next I put my soil in. So I use a Miracle-Gro potting mix, and it has fertilizer in it. And this particular one fertilizes for 6 months. Last year I tried Miracle-Gro. It said container gardening soil. I did not like it, but I don't know why. It's supposed to feed for 9 months, and it just didn't. And I went back to what I had the year before. So trial and error on some things. So I have this about 3/4 full of the what they call this potting mix, and it has 6 months of fertilizer in it. So I kind of spread around and get dirty. And I have gardening gloves, but I don't use them. I know. I feel like if I don't touch it, I can't get a good grip of it. So that's a no-no. I'm not supposed to have gloves. But anyway, so we're going to start with the plants. So I'm going to start with a geranium, which there are so many colors and there's so many color combinations. And everyone that is interested in container gardening, I put these packets together up here that tell you a lot more than what the time I've had to talk today. It tells you how to do it, and shows you pictures, and also a color wheel. I love the color wheel. I like the opposite colors. So if it's blue, you can use red or orange, but there's a color wheel down as well. I save all my tags. This one is not root bound, but sometimes you find some at nurseries. When you pull them out of the pot, they are so root bound that they're like suffocating. So you could take them, and you can take them apart or pull them apart. This one's really not. So I take it, and it's really soft. So, okay.
Well, I've been hauling to the pickup area.
Okay, so I got that in the middle. Nope. One thing I do too, I try to leave 2 inches below, not put anything, any soil, anything, 2 inches from the top of the pot down, so I can put my bark in on top. That does several things. Protects it, keeps the moisture in. It also keeps from water splashing on it and splashing out dirt. So and then it looks like a finished, like icing on a cake. My plan wasn't to make a red, white, and blue, but the plants that I had the pot, and the plants did not come in that I had wanted, so I thought red, white, and blue. That's nothing wrong with that. That's a good color mix. So these are a vinca, and they're going to be our filler. So they've got different vincas. Some of them are cascading, and some of them grow upright. So be sure to look on the tag. You don't want this bigger than that, and anywhere you want to be tall, and then next down, and then lower.
Yeah.
So we have 5 minutes.
I'm just looking for
So a 6-pack basically is what you're putting in?
I am on this one, yeah. Sometimes you can buy a 4-pack and you don't
But that's what you do with this one?
Yeah. Because these are so small, I put these. And then those are the fillers, and the next is the spiller.
I've got a tiny one about this high and won't grow any higher. I don't know what to do.
That's right.
It's about 8
Even though we had a blue pot, I thought a little bit of blue mixed with the flowers would really set it off.
Now that is what now?
It's you can have the cap. It's more of a true blue instead of purple.
Blew my mind.
Then if it needed any more soil in it, I would fill it in the little gaps and then top it off with the bark. And like this one is what this would look like, and it will be like that in a month, big. And it's endless of the combinations you can put together. So, thank you.